Okay,
So, how much would I have to pay you to dig and then bury a body with me?
dig and bury a
And
body.
yeah.
Um, is this
Also, would there be a surcharge for doing it in the rain?
so? Hold on, hold on. Are you? Did you kill the body?
Let's say yes.
No charge.
Really? Okay.
I look out for my boys.
Solid.
Um, if it's a dead hooker, that's a little sketchy. I'd want some money down, but only if it's
For
a
what?
hooker. Only if it's a hooker, I'd need some money down. $10 will do,
Okay. Only $10.
or a line of coke, either or.
Okay. Solid.
The
I
coke
feel
may or
like
may
you
not have to
definitely
be
get
from the cooker.
I feel like you're getting a lot more value out of the line of Coke. Maybe I'm overestimating the value of a line of Coke, but I feel like that's way more than $10, but
It can be
that's
half a line
fair.
of coke.
It's a fair trade-off there. See, I feel like I wouldn't have a problem digging the hole. The burying the body apart may be a little weird. I would have a really big problem with doing it in the rain.
Why the rain? I feel like that would make
I
it easier to dig the hole.
I just don't like going out and doing like really hard work in the rain. Like rain is miserable to work in.
Yeah, it would suck, but I mean, actually, it would suck being cold and wet, but like the work would go by faster. It's just a bunch of mud. Oh, the mud gets dirty and like a little disgusting.
Yeah. And like you always think that there's going to be that critical limit of like I can only get so wet before it just doesn't affect me anymore, and it's just not true. Like at some point the wetness stops affecting your clothing and it starts to like leach into your bones.
Well, that's the hypothermia setting in.
It is, but like that's the point where I don't want to get to.
That's a very difficult conundrum.
Like do you ever go to a soccer game in the rain?
Oh my god. So I did go to a soccer game in the rain. This was February of last year
Uh-huh.
versus Atlanta FC, if I remember correctly. And holy fuck, this is the first game of the season for us.
Hmm.
It was fucking freezing. I had drunk so much fucking beer. Everyone was wearing black. So when I went to go to the bathroom to take a fucking piss, and then as I was coming back, I looked up and tried to look for my friends. Couldn't see them because everyone was wearing black, and I didn't know where
Yep.
the fuck to go, and I got fucking lost. I was also very tipsy, so I was incredibly disoriented. I fell over. Things were not good.
Oh, that is rough.
And like after halftime, like I had to like go inside because it was just so fucking freezing. I couldn't feel my hands anymore. I lost my scarf, so we just fucking bailed. We bailed and went to a fucking bar,
Solid.
and it was miserable. Going home that night felt like an eternity. As soon as I got home, I just took off all my fucking wet clothes, put on some nice fucking warm PJs, snuggled up in my bed, and passed the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't mess with the cold and rain. That will fuck you up.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Also, beard coats. As much as I like to, make fun of them or joke about them, it's not a real thing. You're actually feeling super cold. It's actually a lot worse for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, drinking beer won't make you warmer. It'll make you feel like you're getting warmer. You're getting actually a lot colder.
Yes.
So be careful of that too.
Because in the biological department, beer in the short term, I believe it's up to zero point zero 0.08. It actually acts as a stimulant, a very slight stimulant, but it does actually act as a stimulant. But after that point, you reach like a critical limit of alcohol, and it immediately starts to act like a depressant,
Well,
which affects your system across the board.
I don't think it's only that, but it's specifically that it I think widens some of your blood vessels.
That's a
Which
depressant.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. And then
Yeah.
that helps relieve heat,
Yes.
which you don't want in the cold.
Because if you have a stimulant, it's narrowing your blood
Ah,
vessels. So
okay.
your heart starts to pump faster because it's forcing the blood. It's
Oh, okay.
pounding a little bit more strongly. So if it's widening the blood vessels, it takes less force, and so your heart pumps slower because it doesn't take as much force.
Well, there we go. You heard it from Nick first, or
There you go.
an actual health official.
Yeah, there. Yeah, somebody taught me that, and I
Remembered it.
vaguely remember some of it. There's a lot of other depressant effects that I don't remember anymore, but yes, it does actually act as a depressant. That is one of them. Is the widening of the blood vessels.
Anyways, this is this segue went super off track. We're gonna talk
Yes,
about sing. Blah, blah, blah. Wave, listen to me
listen to me.
first. On this
Welcome.
episode
Yep,
101 of ABC. I'm Brandon,
I'm Nick.
uh, and
It's
who's gonna
nice to only
start?
have one name. I never go by my middle name.
James
James.
James.
That would be if I were going to a South American country. and wanted to get stabbed several times in the gut.
Let's just talk about where you listen to me.
I mean, I'm not wrong though. If I were to go to a South American country, and be like, "Yes, my name is James," they'd be like, "Dude, not even.
Bitch, you're white. Your name's James.
Don't even with me right now." But that aside, let's talk about Way Listen to Me.
So Minare is meeting up with Mizuho as well as the producer. I'm just gonna call him producer because I think that's what he does.
Okay, that's fair.
And as it turns out, the bad idea that we had at the beginning of the last episode was not so much of a bad idea because they actually ended up doing it.
Yeah.
As we find out, we recorded the entire fucking date, all
Yes.
8.5 hours of it, basically.
He just never said his name or his address or his phone number or any of his other personally identifiable information somehow.
Yeah, right. I was like, what the fuck? How do you not like get into that at all? Like, so maybe address because like I don't remember the last time I told you my address when we were in person, right?
Yeah.
Or what else? Or my phone
I guess
number,
other
right?
than the first time, like once you know where to go to get to an address, you just say like, "Let's go to my place," and we all know where
Right.
your place is.
Or you don't need to because someone else is driving. But like not
But
saying
like,
a name, like your name, or someone saying your name, that's a little suspect.
yeah, or only saying his first name. Like,
Well, I don't
I
think
mean,
I've said it or
still,
seen it too much to you though.
I mean, but maybe it just didn't come
Holy
up. Let's see.
shit!
They went on a train, so I guess you wouldn't give your last name there.
But where'd you give your last name to?
I'm imagining like if they went to a restaurant. I mean, like it was a date, so I'm imagining they went to like a restaurant where like you would have to give your name. I guess maybe they just don't check in on their
Went to
full name.
Not really. Like you can just walk in. How many times have you just walked in?
I mean, sometimes, but like other times, I have gotten a reservation, and I usually put it under my last name, not my first name. Because I mean, my first name is Nick, which a lot of people have, so I put it under my last name, which nobody has.
I'll be honest. I think I've convinced myself of the opposite. I think I believe him now that nothing of personal no PID was said. I think it's
I mean,
believable.
I can kind of believe it. Like
Yeah.
now that I think about it, they never really went anywhere that you would have given your last name.
Or your
They
address
just
or
went
phone
to
number
yeah,
or where
they
you
just went
work.
to like the cafe
Actually-
down at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah. Damn. All right.
I mean, oh, but still, like, I guess since they're not using any of the recording, it doesn't matter that you should sort of be able to identify like where he is just based on like train stops. Because like if they got on the train, you
Yeah.
knew where they were. So they went to a mountain and they say the mountain, and then you just listen to the train go by, and you could count the number of stops. You could figure out like where they were, kind of. I guess even then, like they're not going to use the recording, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. As we found out later, the recording was needed in order to synthesize a fake Mitsuo? A fake Mitsuo. I keep getting confused with Mizuho and Mitsuo.
Yeah.
By Pigman. We finally get to see Pigman, and by Monkey Man.
Yep.
Because he's got the big sideburns, and anybody who has big sideburns looks like a monkey, I guess. I don't know. That's the only thing. That's the only like reason I might think that he looks like a monkey.
Yeah. If anything, I was going to say like he looks more like a rat because he had like a very pinched features.
Oh, okay. The only reason I say the sideburn thing is because that one kid in the other show we watched about the samurai guy.
Apari Raman.
Dororo.
There was a samurai in mine though.
Yes, but Dororo, that one kid they meet who's like throwing rocks at them, he's got the large sideburns, and they call him the Japanese word for ape for monkey.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. But anyways, we get to finally meet them, and they're not weirdos. They're just they're folly artists. Really cool ones too.
Yeah.
But folly, if you don't know, is the art, I guess, or the engineering of sounds for movies and basically any produced media.
Mhm.
Where you have to take different objects and kind of make synthesized sounds out of them. There's like these cool Foley studios that you can see where people just have like a bunch of knickknacks everywhere, and like they test them out to find out what makes a sound sound good for a movie.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? There was one for going on a tangent here. There was one for the studio that helped Pixar do its sound effects, and they basically were doing like a demonstration for some people about like this is how it works. Like this is how we use things you wouldn't expect to make noises that you're not expecting. Like I think one of the ones they showed was like ET's footsteps is the sound of squishing macaroni. Um, but so they, after like showing the people like a demonstration, like this is how it works, they had them come on and do a scene from Ratatouille
Oh,
where they
okay.
like run around the back room of the restaurant and basically like knock a whole bunch of bowls off and stuff, and the people had to like try and make the sounds in time with what they were seeing, and like they completely fucked it up, and they like came to realize like just how fucking hard it is to try and do this like any amount of speed.
Right.
But it is
And
really cool to see them like properly go through and like they're like throwing bowls at the ground or like rubbing things in weird ways. Like it's all about like making a sound in a way that maybe it's not shown in the film is the way the sound is produced, but it produces the correct sound that the audience understands it.
right, like a punch that we hear, like a punch doesn't actually really make that much of a sound in real life. But in movies, in order to actually make you feel the impact, they just fucking grab a bat and just hit a piece of meat with it,
Yeah.
and that's the sound you hear. But it's all really cool. But we get to meet them. They're interesting. We also get some more like little tidbits of what's going on with the writer guy, but it's only mentioned in one scene with Mizuho, and then it's kind of done. We also see
Mhm.
Mizuho's boyfriend spying on them. I'm just gonna say his boyfriend. Also
I
not.
guess so. Who knows? Who knows if we're ever gonna get back to that?
We have 3 episodes left. 2 or 3 episodes left.
But speaking of the writer, and something I didn't bring up last time, but I thought was kind of cool, was he was using an electronic cigarette,
Oh
which I
yeah.
feel like I've never seen before in like anime.
Yeah, I think this is the
So
first time I've seen him use an e-cig, or seen someone use an e-cig in anime.
yeah,
He's just
so it's definitely a sign of the times of like things are changing, and I wonder what else is going to be different from the classical depiction.
right, but even then, like, as well, because Mizuho keeps making fun of Minari for not having a smartphone, as well.
Yeah.
Um, but more in line with callbacks to plot points that we've seen before. We kind of get a callback once again to black-haired girls kind of stealing Minari's position from the restaurant.
Uh huh.
Um,
They
so
they did go back to it with the
yeah,
whole she returns to the current restaurant and they'd made a new dish and they like make specific comment to like, oh yeah, we felt that you may be uncomfortable with all of the new dishes that are
yep.
showing up on the menu or something.
So you can name this
And
one.
yeah, but the whole point of returning to the current restaurant is actually to have a conversation with the producer about like, oh yeah, this is that sound, this is what you're hearing, this is what we were doing, yada yada yada. We had a date with during my date, so that the Yankee curry guy can overhear it and basically get upset about
Yep.
it. So
uh,
he's now aware, but somehow through all of this, no actual questions get asked or answered as to like, are you back together now?
yeah, he doesn't just ask, "Are you back together?" Or which is weird because she never actually mentions that they ever did get back together. I guess he's thinking the worst.
Yeah, she just says we went on a date, and he
Yeah.
just assumes that they're dating again.
And then there's maybe like a sign that black-haired girl wants to like have a thing with the Yankee guy,
Maybe
right? Where she says, we're living together. Wait, I'm
he's
staying
letting me
at
stay there.
yeah, but we're not living together, and that's frustrating. I'm
Frustrating.
like, oh, what's going on here? It's interesting. I
Okay,
don't.
there was also something at the very beginning of the episode. So oh God, this is something that I'm upset with myself that I didn't go rewatch because I just assumed it would come up in the episode. But in the very first scene with the writer and Mizuho, at the very end of it, there was a shot, and I looked away, so I didn't see who it was.
It's her boyfriend.
Oh, it was her boyfriend.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what it
it was
was.
her
I'm
boyfriend.
sorry.
The
That's
the
what. Okay,
the sound mixer.
yeah. I only saw it at the corner of my eye, and I just saw somebody with like darkish hair go, like, huh, how dare they? Um,
I
and so I
guess.
assumed it was. I can't really make the noise that well, yeah. But I assumed it was the other radio show host, so I thought that was who
Oh,
did it.
okay.
But if it was her boyfriend, that makes more sense.
Actually, she hasn't showed up in a while.
I mean, yeah, I really she has not, but at the same time, like I thought she was upset, like oh, they're all doing things about Minare and they don't care
Yeah.
about me anymore or something. But I mean, if it wasn't her, it wasn't her, and it was something. It was another plot that they're developing.
I
Um,
assume boyfriend's a little mad because he doesn't want her to see his girlfriend sad that her like idol is leaving. Maybe I don't fucking know. That's
maybe
that's the best. That's my best guess that I have right now
that's fair.
with the information I was given.
We also learned that Minare is moving out of Mizuho's apartment.
Yep, in some time. Uh, but ultimately, we get to the next radio show play. We get to the next broadcast,
Hmm.
and that is basically burying all the emotions that she felt about Mitsuo, as well as her old self. Because
Yes.
she kind of mentions this throughout the episode that she kind of gets a little obsessed. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe like too dependent, too codependent on having someone with her, and
Uh-huh.
kind of lets herself be treated poorly. We see like a scene where she's kneeling, giving Mitsuo Mitsuo some like fruit and stuff, and he's just like slouching there. He literally looks like a fucking slacking from
He
like the first
does.
right, and he's
Yeah.
just being a fuck the entire time.
In that evolution to slacking, wasn't the middle one like super high energy
Yes,
too?
his name was Vigoroth.
Yeah, there we go.
Vigor. It was
Um,
slack off, vigor off, and then slacking.
King. Yeah.
Right now, quick tangent. There is like a super annoying strat, I think, with doubles where you can like I think it's a Gardevoir with slacking, and you can have the Gardevoir change or swap abilities. So slacking no longer has that ability where it slacks off every other turn.
Hmm.
So it just becomes a fucking powerhouse because it has the highest base stat of any Pokemon, of any non-legendary Pokemon in the game.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty fucking solid. It's a good
Anyways,
strat. Um, but yeah, so we see Mitsuo basically just being a fuck as Minari talks about the fact that she basically needs to like take care of somebody, and if they're too they're too self-reliant, then they're no good because then what value is she providing to them? Which then came up when she returns to the Curry house and she talks to the Yankee dude about like, oh, I bet you clean your apartment. And he's like, oh, not just every week, but 3 times a week.
all the
I bet you
time.
cook for yourself. Oh,
Yeah.
and like there was some other thing,
I
and
bet
he's
you
like,
can
oh yeah, I
sew.
do
Like,
that.
yeah, I sew all the time. I've been getting into leather.
Oh yeah, I can almost do the cross stitch. And then Minari comes down with the hammer of, yeah, you're no good.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
I
Uh,
don't know if like that would even be as a guy. I don't know that that would be a good relationship to be in. Of like I have to take care of you or else you're no good. It kind of then feels like so I just have to be sort of a fuck.
I don't know. We've seen time and time before. She is attracted to terrible men.
I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe it is just a Minari thing, but it does raise questions about her as to she both is attracted to Mitsuo and hates his guts for who he is. Although to be fair, she only really hates his guts because he cheated on her or slept with that other girl while they
Well,
were broken up or
cheated
possibly
plus,
together.
took $5,000.
Yeah, 500. Or yeah, $5,000. Um, but all of that then does culminate in the burial of Mitsuo, which is also sort of the culmination of her little Mitsuo plot thing,
Yep.
where the first one was yelling about it of "I want to kill you," the second one was killing him or post killing him,
And this
and
one
the third
is
one now is
burying
the
him.
burial of the body.
There's continuity, Nick. There's continuity in the broadcast.
I mean, not fully, because there was that whole alien debacle in the one.
They could have brought the alien back down. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah, maybe she kills him again and is now having to bury the alien clone body.
Hold on. So the alien thing we saw was her delusion. And the actual play, I think the aliens take the body.
Oh, was that what it is?
I
Okay.
think so. I don't remember.
I thought it ended with her doing a whole like, "Oh, I want to feed you. Oh, aren't you just the cutest again?"
Oh, right.
Which
That's
really should
another
have
spaceship. Yes, that's what it was.
it really should have cued us into the fact that Minare is, a screw up as she falls in love with the person that she, hated
Hold
a
on,
second
Nick.
or killed a second ago.
Hold
What?
on, because that was the writer writing that. That wasn't her.
No, it wasn't.
Did she not improv that?
She
Sorry,
entirely
did she?
improved it.
Oh, I guess he did just
The
write. Then
stage
aliens
direction
come.
was an alien shows up, deal with it, and that was the end.
Ah, you're right. Yep, that was my bad. I thought that part had been written in.
No, that was all improv.
So yeah, so we have some nice little foreshadowing that she's kind of weird about relationships.
Yeah, that she was going to, given the opportunity to see him again, and he needs her again, would fall immediately back in love with him.
Yes, sirree. And no,
Um,
that's not a good look for anyone.
which even then continues in this episode, which we also sort of glossed over, was right at the beginning. Minara was freaking out about like maybe she had
Yeah,
misunderstood that flyer that she saw, and he really hadn't slept with that girl.
She has a thing about calling dudes gay.
She does also.
This is
Although to
this
be
is the
fair, she
kind.
was right about the curry dude.
Uh, anyways, back to the broadcast. We get the actual burial where it is the producer helping her out and burying her with him, helping her bury the body.
Yes.
As the Folly guys and Mizuho are, making thunderstorm noises, or rain noises, and like
Shovel
shovel
noises.
noises. It's really cool.
Minare and then the producer cover him up and have a conversation about like, what did this guy do to you? Was it really worth killing him over 500,000?
They bury the body. They have a makeout session.
Yeah.
That part kind of lost me a little. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it will tie into something in the next part.
I assume too.
Because it did seem a little apropos of nothing.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. If we're going by the broadcast show is kind of like a foreshadowing, then maybe the producer and her are going to get together. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't think so. They both the producer didn't seem super uncomfortable with it, but Minare was definitely.
She was blushing.
She wasn't fully against it, but she was definitely thinking to herself, like, does this really need to go on this long?
Oh yeah, just to make those noises for about a minute.
Yeah. It was like pant and grunt and make out noises for like 45 seconds or something in the stage directions.
But as she turns away in the broadcast, in the little play that they're hosting, she finds that her helper is now underground, and Mitsuo starts to crawl back up in a very creepy scene where he's just like moving his limbs in ways he shouldn't.
Oh yeah.
And then the show ends.
It was very much that creepy Korean comic with the lady with the weird backwards head. Yeah, he like came up with like his fingers all fucked up and his head was all to the side. Yeah,
bobbing back and forth.
His body just turns into static for a moment. They do a good job of like, for something that is not being transmitted in the radio drama portion of this, they do a good job of showing us the horror of the corpse rising from the grave.
I wonder how they were describing that though, because like it wasn't part of her talking. Maybe the producer was like narrating it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was assuming they just weren't.
Oh, so they were just talking.
I was assuming you were just
up to the imagination of the viewer or the listener.
Yeah.
Okay.
From how Minare was reacting to, because she was pretty well describing like, or maybe not describing, but like mentioning the relevant details of like
where they are,
something creepy and like a hand coming up and like a body and everything itself. Like she was doing a pretty decent job of like setting a scene.
For a show that like is a slice of life, like grounded in reality, there's been a lot of like horror elements in this show.
It really has.
It really likes creepy shit.
It does make for good radio.
That's true. I mean, what else are you gonna listen to at 3 a.m. in the fucking night? Like, if I'm listening to radio, it's gotta be fucking creepy. I have to not be able to go to sleep afterwards.
That's fair. It definitely is a like for 3:30 in the morning radio station. I don't know if you would want like soothing, calm, radio or creepy horror radio, but I feel like it's got to be one or the other.
Right, because
you can't have a radio show of just her.
Like, it can't be fucking Yellows and Sunshine.
Yeah. You can't just have Minare like talking about how shitty her life is and like a repeat of episode 1. Like, it's got to be full on like crazy murderer shit.
Which, to be fair, it's only been crazy murderer shit.
I mean, it has, but I mean, it's fucking worked. That episode 2 one is still probably my favorite episode of the season.
Oh, the one where the cheating or the cheater.
Yeah, the episode 2 of the radio show, not of the season as a whole, but yeah, the cheating murderer radio show was easily one of my favorite episodes.
It's fucking fantastic, and it makes me wonder what are we gonna do next? What's gonna go on? What's gonna happen? Oh,
how many episodes does this have? The show?
I think 2 or 3. Let me look it up real quick. But while I'm doing that,
if it only has 12 episodes, I will be kind of sad to see it go. I wish it did also have 18. Like,
oh my god, we've got 2 more episodes left. To me.
Wow, only 2.
Only 2 more episodes. There is no way we're going to talk about the other radio show host. I have no idea what's going to happen with the writer. We're not going to find out what the producer's relationship was with that one chick.
Nothing. The dead girlfriend. Yeah, no.
Nothing. We're not going to find any of this out. We only have 2 episodes.
We might do Creepy Brother Lady, and we're probably going to finish this radio show next episode.
Who the fuck knows at this point?
Like, I don't feel like we have enough time to do anything else. Because everything else we have to both start, do the middle, and finish.
It could
And the
be an
show has shown us it doesn't do it very quickly.
we could do it in an episode. We've done it with Mitsuo.
I mean, the only other thing we could do in an episode is the award show that they keep talking about. Or not
Oh yeah,
award show, but like the award ceremony for that prize.
maybe. Who knows?
So like maybe it'll end episode 12 with like Minare winning the newcomer award.
It's
That's
possible.
really the only thing that is left that we could do. Otherwise, all we have left in terms of plot that we could reasonably finish right now is Creepy Brother Lady and the Burial of Mitsuo, which I'm assuming we're going to finish next episode.
Yeah, I think it's gonna finish next episode, and then my prediction is that we're gonna deal with one single arc afterwards, and I think the best, not the best, like in terms of writing, but like the most likely one is going to be Creepy Brother Lady.
I would agree.
But we'll see.
Because otherwise we could do like Mizuho's life.
Oh, and
Because we
her
could deal with the sound engineer dude.
and what's happening with her boyfriend and her idol, her
Yeah.
mentor, I guess.
Or we could go back to the curry shop and do like curry shop final stuff. Where Creepy Brother Lady like officially moves in or starts dating the Yankee, and other like gay curry dude comes back and kicks Minare out. But I mean,
If Creepy Brother Lady and Yankee Dude hook up, Minare's gonna get upset and she's gonna be jealous.
I mean, undoubtedly.
Yep.
But that's
Uh,
more because she's just a hot mess.
Yeah.
And that was her super fallback guy.
You can't have your fallback guy go out with another chick who's better than you.
Yeah. Can't have him getting strange on the side.
So, real quick, going back, this actually is not really related to anything, but when they had, when the two Folly guys, Monkey Dude and Pig Dude, were talking about how they, created this like Mitsuo's voice. I thought they were gonna bring up how they just like got all of the fucking data and just push it into an AI and they just had to do that for them, rather than fucking like picking out clips and then engineering them.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was expecting too. The fact that they were doing it by hand was sort of more impressive, if somewhat pointless.
Yeah, just fucking with computers, make them do it.
I mean, they did say that they stopped doing what they were doing like full time because they weren't very good with computers. To be fair.
Oh yeah, right, because they wanted to use Audition, which I believe is an Adobe program. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm going just to say it's an Adobe Audition program, and if anyone fact checks me, fuck you, you're wrong. But anyways, that's Wave Listen to Me. Boom.
Let's do it.
Did more things happen in this episode, do you feel, Nick? Because I kind of feel like it did.
Huh. It is a good question.
At the very least,
kind of.
we got more Haru, got more exploration of Haru's character and what's going on with her life.
A little bit.
But not as much as we have with, Shinako and,
We got more look at Haru's life. I would not say we got more look at Haru's character. Because really we didn't learn anything about Haru.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because we just kind of see her, I think it's her mom, like her biological mom had married someone else.
I guess.
Right? I don't remember who it was. But one of her parents married someone else and she was hanging out with them for Christmas.
I really thought that they had a more strained relationship based on that one scene we saw too. Like I thought Haru and her mom had like a more sort of distant relationship than that scene was showing. I mean, maybe it was just like the Christmas good times or something, but they were acting very chummy for two people in that scene. Were very quick to be like, "Yep, this is the new guy I'm married to. Okay, cool, I'm leaving."
That's definitely true. I wish they like kind of interacted a bit more because the only thing that really happens between them is, let's go buy some groceries, and she says okay.
Yeah.
And then she kind of talks about how she's doing how she's doing at her job.
Mm-hmm. And we see like a shot through a window later on of like them. We can't hear them. We just see them like all laughing together.
Yeah, standard Christmas family stuff.
Yeah.
But we know that her mom had married a new man.
Mm-hmm.
I think her old middle school teacher, by the way.
I think
That's
so.
something that I remember.
That's what it was.
So that's what she's doing in Christmas. On the other hand, Rikuo is hitting on Shinako, kind of.
Sort of. They sort of. I forgot what they do first. They look at the pictures for a little while as the other couple give them shit because what was originally the world's most awkward third now finally turned into a Christmas double date, where they sort of give him shit about like, oh, you took all these pictures of Shinako. Even though I feel like last episode he said that he took one picture of Shinako and then stopped taking pictures of Shinako because he was too awkward about it.
Yes, I believe I heard the same thing.
So I feel like that sort of like these two pieces of information sort of contradict each other, but maybe there just are a lot of pictures of Shinako in the group that he brought with him, but it's hard to say.
He does get a picture of her ass.
He does, yes.
And that's the
That
one
they
she
were
picks up.
as they were messing around in the stream. Yeah, he took a picture of her ass.
To be fair, there's more in there.
Yeah, and she's looking at the camera. It's just a shot from behind.
Yeah. But they're
But
having good fun times. The friend's wife hands back the necklace to Rico so he can give it to Shinako.
Yes, the world's most regifted necklace.
Yep. Jesus Christ. That has passed the hands of like 3 people and has gone back to the second person twice.
Yeah.
Who
It's
was
now
it?
it's now on its 3rd recipient, I think. Or 4th, maybe. I forget if there were 2 people before Rikuo.
No. So it went to Rico first because the guy couldn't give it to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Rico has it now, and then Rico gave it to
His friend
his
to
friend
give to
who
his
gave it
wife.
to his wife, and now his wife's giving it to his friend or to Rico. Now Rico's
Rikuo.
going to give it to Shinako.
To Shinako. Yep, there you go.
There are a lot of points in this little necklace, but it stays with Shinako in the end. So
For now.
I guess for now, I mean, she has it still. She's wearing it.
Yep. Because after getting the necklace back, he walks Shinako home as Haru heads to his place again, which really is starting to kind of tick me off. The fact that Haru just sort of shows up at his place.
That's what I've been saying,
And-
Nick.
I mean, it's one of these shows where, like, now having watched this, and in my head, I kind of said to myself, like, why are you not just like calling him and be like, "Hey, I want to come see you," or you're at your place? She just shows up all the damn time.
This is an era without cell phones, but you can still kind of call the house phone.
I mean, what year is this set in?
Late
Like, do
90s,
we
I
know
think.
what-
Early 90s,
Is
late
it?
90s, I don't
Okay.
know.
I could not tell because he's got like the old CRT TV and like the video game station from the 1970s or something. But when Haru sees it, she says, "Oh, it's a video game thing from another century." And I don't know if she's just saying that because it's old.
Is it from another
or if it's-
era?
Oh, mine said from another century.
Okay.
I
She
thought
might-
she was.
She might be making a joke, but I don't think it's 2000s yet. It might be.
I didn't think it was either because the fact that he doesn't have a fucking like a cell phone of any kind.
Yeah, I'm not sure cell phones have become a thing by this point, but like I don't know when that was for Japan.
Yeah.
Because I think for America, when did that really start having a thing? When did like the mainstream have phones? I don't think it was until like the
Cell phones?
Yeah, I remember seeing cell phones in X-Files a couple of times, but I mean they're agents, so the government probably should allow for them to have phones. I don't know about the common person.
It would probably be like late 90s to early-ish 2000s, I
Right.
assume. Like 2000, no, definitely before 2001, because we had him in 9/11. I would probably say, yeah, like 97 or 98, I would guess. I mean, we're getting into like a time that kind of predates my consciousness
Yeah.
at this point. So, like, I don't know how much they were thinking in the early 90s. I can't say.
This
But I would
manga
guess-
did start getting written around 1997.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna assume it takes place at that time, 97,
Okay.
and maybe just cell phones weren't a big thing in Japan,
Yeah.
and that's why none of the main characters have it right now. But anyways,
So,
it's kind of
I
annoying
don't,
to
I
have.
don't know cell phones. I know for sure smartphones weren't a thing until 2007.
Yes, for
I just don't know
Seattle.
Yeah, I just don't know for proper cell phones. But I assume 97 is a good guess for it slightly predates like everyone having a cell phone. And certainly not an out of work or part-time worker like Rikuo was at the beginning of this. He definitely would not have had a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we could safely assume he doesn't have one, but still hard just showing up
Yeah,
all
that's
the
kind of
damn
annoying.
time.
That's the
It's
real
kind of
point they were
annoying.
trying to make. It's
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
Like there are definitely better ways to go about like showing up at somebody's apartment where they will definitely be there, or you know that they're not going to be there. So, anyways,
And Riku even mentions this, telling her to stop doing it.
Yeah.
One, because he doesn't want to say it's annoying, but I'm pretty sure he's thinking it's annoying. But two, because it's not really safe. It's fucking cold. She has no pants.
Yeah. who knows how long she was sitting out there for.
Yeah.
As far as Rikuo knows, it was basically the whole time he was at that Christmas party. So
Those fucking bagels are cold as shit now. Like, who wants to eat those?
yeah. Although I will say, from that, assuming those bagels were the same bagels they showed in that interstitial, I really want to get bagels now.
A bagel sandwich.
Yeah, bagel sandwich.
Bagel sandwiches are nice.
It had some nice crisp lettuce on it, like a slice of tomato, a little bit of meat, some cheese. Ooh, bagel sandwiches. But anyways,
Nick's BMI is showing.
yes. My BMI is within healthy standards. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm only slightly overweight. I need to work out a little bit more to get back into healthy.
Just don't drink water. It'll be fine. Lose the water weight.
Lose the water weight. Like I said, I had to put off like 20 pounds in water weight that one day. But yeah. So in the meantime of Haru showing up and just sitting awkwardly out in front of his door in the cold, Rikuo walks Shinako home, gives her the Moonstone after sort of an awkward like, I want to give you this gift, but I don't know how you're going to take this. And then they have a moment. I think
it's a charged moment.
I don't really. So much happens in front of Shinako. It's like, this is the one thing I yelled about this before with the episode was taking people home 4 times in one episode last time. So much of this show has just been like walking girls home to their place and then that being it. And like having maybe a scene out in front of their apartment that like they all have started to blend together in my mind.
It is a little hard, but this was a bit easier to differentiate from the others because something happens. There's a gift exchange.
Yeah, but there was another one, wasn't there? There was one later in the episode again where he walks her home, right? And they have another moment.
They go into her apartment then.
They do. Okay, they do go in her apartment. I couldn't remember if it happened inside or outside.
Right, because this is the third time this kind of moment has been happening, and now it's switched, and now he's in the apartment.
He almost made it into the apartment that one time.
Yes, he almost did, but they didn't.
He almost made it into Shinako. Heyo.
Heyo. I thought it was gonna happen this episode too.
I did too, but then he was a gentleman and respected the no means no.
But she doesn't though. Like he keeps saying, you should be more assertive, and he keeps saying, no means no, Shinako.
Yeah.
Like if you want to, just say yes.
I wish that you were more pushy. So what I'm hearing is you want me to rape you. Yeah, Shinako really needs to like figure herself out. Which, to be fair, she does say she's trying to figure herself out there at the end. But in the moment that we were originally talking about, Rikuo returns home, sees Haru. They have a little like she hugs him, and as he's like, "Ew, gross! Don't touch me. Ew, gross germs." Social distancing. But then he ends up taking her into his apartment and basically saying like, "Look, you can't just keep showing up in the middle of the night when it's freezing cold and waiting for me to be here. You're like, I have a life. I do things." And Haru basically says like, "Oh, okay, I'll finish my coffee and then leave." Like again, it's just a weird scene. Like, I want for them to do more with Haru. Also, so this is something that was another thing of Haru at some point basically said something to the effect of like, she wants to have something with Rikuo or Ritsuo. What's his name?
Oh, I think it's Ritsuo, not Rikuo.
Ritsuo.
I don't know who Rikuo is.
I think I said it at the beginning, and you just kept going with it, and then I kept going with it. But anyways, back to his actual name, Ritsuo. She says at some point about like she just wants to have a relationship with Ritsuo, and she doesn't know like if it's this whole thing of she wants to like have something with him, and he is like, it seems like trying to let her down easy or something. And this whole thing is like overshadowed by the thing I was yelling about forever with Ritsuo and Shinako and their whole like, we can't be friends anymore, continues to be friends. Of like, why don't they just do the same thing? Of like, he more assertively says like, look, I don't want to date you, and then they just be friends.
This show is definitely more a story about Shinako and Ritsuo.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Haru is seen first, it's definitely been more about Shinako trying to get over her love, Ritsuo trying to maybe keep something alive, like a relationship alive with Shinako, while trying to kind of keep his emotions in check.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're both trying to figure out what the fuck do they do.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea, and everything's fucking weird. And then
Haru's I feel like I would actually buy into this show more if it was just Ritsuo and Shinako. Like if Haru was just like a super side character. Yeah. Like they just introduced her as like, this is a side character of like somebody Shinako knows, I'd be more okay with this show.
Yeah,
Because then it would just be the plot of those two progressing with nobody else, or like just some other side characters who show up and like have an episode.
because it's no longer really a love triangle because it doesn't really seem like Ritsuo even likes her, at least in the
Yeah.
way she wants, or
Mhm.
likes Haru in the way she wants. And it definitely seems like Shinako has feelings for Ritsuo. Like their relationship is, well, frustrating. Well, Nick says a little bit frustrating, like at least somewhat believable.
Yeah.
And then Rose just kind of there.
And then Rose just there doing his high school thing,
Yeah.
and hopefully not dating his teacher at the end of this.
Yes.
Um,
Once again, I can't say it enough. I don't want this to happen.
yeah, same. Um, it's just I don't know. I don't know what I fully want. I don't know if maybe it's a like they gave Shinako the front half and then Haru will be like the back half of the show.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
Because
Just,
at the end of the episode, there is like a little moment
Mhm.
where Ritsuo has at least implied to be running to Haru's house.
yeah.
And my guess is that the crow died.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because she sees the crow outside her apartment, and then she like hears a bang, and I assume the crow's dead. Because it's still really
Oh.
fucking cold.
Do we see a crow outside of her apartment?
Yeah, we see the crow.
Ah, okay.
That's what I assume. But as you said, Nick, you don't know what you want. I think that's what the show's trying to make you feel. It's trying to put you in the shoes of the characters.
I mean, I've already said what I do want, which is Shinako or Haru to fucking cut it off with the just showing up randomly shit. I want her to like regularly schedule her dates and be like, "Look, I want to show up to your apartment and see you. What's a good time?"
I don't know.
That's what I want.
That's what I want to. But
Fucking, she clearly showed at the end of this episode. She has his phone number too.
Yeah.
She
I
can
assume-
fucking call him.
I assume Milk Call also has a phone ready. Like, hey, boss,
Yeah.
can I call my friend? Sure, it's a phone. Why not use it?
But
Which brings us to Milk Call.
shows up.
There's something going on with the bartender lady and her boyfriend.
I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see what's going on with that, or if that kind of mirrors what's going on with Haru. Who knows?
The bartender is about to have more character than Haru.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, that bartender's cute though. Anyways,
Very on brand.
very on brand for Brandon. Very on Brandon.
Yes.
But the most important thing that happens in this episode is that Ritsuo finally makes it back into the apartment.
It's true. After the second time, he is invited up as not a nightcap, but more of just like a, I guess, have tea together sort of thing. I forget what the context of it was.
This episode,
Yeah, this episode.
have coffee to sober up because they just went out for New Year's and they had a date.
Ah,
They were dating.
right, yeah.
They went on a
Yeah.
date for New Year's Eve.
I remember that. They went out to like the bar thing for New Year's and got kind of drunk.
Got kind of drunk,
Oh.
went home to sober up, and they just kind of start talking about the relationship and how he feels super very awkward, and she says, "Oh, I also feel super very awkward. What do we do?" And Ritsuo's like, "I want to fuck you," and Shinako's like, "I'm kind of scared," and she's like, "Okay," and he says, "Okay, that's fine. It's okay to be scared." And then that's where
Yeah.
the episode ends. Actually, it ends with him leaving.
She basically says like, I have this other guy from my past who's dead, but maybe what I'm feeling for him isn't the same as what I'm feeling for you, and
Yes.
maybe what it was for him isn't really love, and so I'm trying to figure that out.
And
So-
they decided to take things slowly. So it seems like
Yeah.
they kind of are dating now, just taking things slow. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out some more.
We have 8 more episodes.
We have 8 more episodes. Once again, my prediction: whichever relationship starts first is going to end in disaster.
That is a fair prediction. That would also mean that Haru is in with a chance.
Haru might have a chance. Hopefully, Ro has no chance, and, and the Shinako X Ritsuo ship is gonna go down in flames. I'd rather it not, because that's my favorite ship right now, because it's the only ship right now.
Yeah, it's the only ship,
But
but
we'll see what happens.
we'll see. We also got a new ending.
By the way,
I don't know if they were singing yesterday or not, but it was something.
So they weren't singing yesterday to me. They were saying the title of the show, which makes me feel
Oh,
that
okay.
this song. I don't know this yet. I'm gonna look it up afterwards, but I should have looked it up before this. But I feel like the "Sing Yesterday to Me" isn't referencing the song yesterday. It's referencing the song "Sing Yesterday to Me."
Ah, okay.
Right? There's like a couple of levels of
Yeah.
references here.
When I heard them singing it, I was like, huh, they're singing yesterday a lot, which I feel like there would definitely be a Japanese word for yesterday, but whatever. maybe I guess it would make more sense that they were referring to the song rather than actually singing "Yesterday" by the Beatles.
Yeah.
But I did look up the lyrics yesterday because it's been a while since I listened to it. They were saying "yesterday" in this song in the ending more frequently than the word "yesterday" appeared in the Beatles song. So it's definitely
Yeah.
not "Yesterday" by the
In
Beatles.
this case, they were saying "Yesterday Wo Utate," which is the title of the song, the title of the show.
Okay, that makes sense. I did not catch that.
Also, the art style change in the editing was really nice. I like
It
the way
was. I
they
liked it a lot more.
I like the way they were drawn,
Yeah.
especially that fucking ending shot with Shinako having those
Hmm.
like those eyes, Nick. It's those eyes. She never made those eyes in the show, Nick.
It's just like their features as a whole.
Yeah, it was a bit different, more defined.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's a sharpness to them that I liked.
Oh, something that I should bring up about the show, and something that I feel they do very well, is subtle changes in like their expressions and their movements. Because the show doesn't have a lot of action, they definitely kind of put a spotlight on like those like weird ticks that people might have, like rolling their shoulder when they're awkward, maybe like touching their neck,
Hmm.
the quivering of Shinako's lips in this episode. They do that stuff all the time, and I think it's just so fantastic. Just having those small little features that really makes you kind of, it gives more life to the characters. Because otherwise, if they didn't have them, it wouldn't make this show feel as alive as it does. At least for how character centric it is.
Uh huh. Yeah, I would definitely agree. It is very much the characters have to feel like real people because it is just two people interacting
Yeah,
99% of the show. So if they don't feel like real people, they just kind of feel like two awkward mannequins. And since it's a very like low energy sort of show, it would just be like
yeah.
one motionless thing while the other one talks, and the first one talks and the second one is motionless, and then positions reverse. And if they didn't have those like minor physical ticks that they kind of go through, it would feel a little bit more awkward most of the time.
Well, awkward in the bad sense because it still feels awkward, but like in the right way. Like
Yeah, this
it's not
feels
awkwardness.
emotionally
Yeah,
awkward.
this isn't like this scene looks awkward. This is more like these characters feel awkward
Yeah,
because they are in an awkward situation and they don't know what to do.
exactly.
And I think it's fantastic. I really like that about the show.
I agree.
Not enough shows do it because it's just kind of hard. Um, and I like the fact that this show kind of took that approach. That's my praise for the show. Um, it's still really slow. It's still glacial,
It is absolutely fucking glacial.
but I like it. It's nice and chill.
I just wish there was more. One of the things that I wish, on top of everything else that I wish for, is I wish there was more things that happened that weren't a result of walking somebody home. Like I
Yeah,
wish we
like
did
more
things in other
events.
places. Yeah,
Much like the really awkward party that we had. Like that was a different. There was a difference to it. Like it wasn't just walking someone home. It was interacting with another couple and everything that kind of might with that. I feel like they could have done more with it instead of just
yeah,
tease what are both our main characters and then just tell them to go the fuck home.
yeah. I agree.
They could have
And
pushed
like
it a bit
seeing them
more.
interact at like the New Year's thing, like we saw a little bit of it, and I wish
Yeah,
there was a little bit more of it.
like actually going to the festival would have been fun.
Yeah, but instead we just get a whole bunch of walking people home.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe when they start dating, we'll go on like dates with them and we'll see them in different places and we'll
possibly.
stop just only walking people home. But
So that brings me to this point. I guess maybe one of our last points.
uh
Are Ritsuo and Shinako is Ritsuo and Shinako? No, are Ritsuo and Shinako going to fuck?
oh, okay, interesting
Is it going
question.
to happen?
Um,
I feel like yes,
hmm,
because in Shinako's story, they've made like a mention of it multiple times.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking about too. I would say a less definitive yes, so
Okay,
probably more like a maybe.
more like
I
you're leaning on yes, but still unsure.
Yeah,
Okay,
because you're definitely right. They do mention it, and so it is like a
because it's a
not a
seed to
pillar,
plant,
but
right?
like yeah, it's a concept in her characters that she's still a virgin. And so like it is definitely something that they could go with of like as their relationship deepens, that's something that happens as time goes on, but it's at the same time like it's going so slowly and this show is already glacial in pace, so like
And we're already
I
like
just
over halfway done.
yeah, I don't know if we're going to get there in time unless it really picks up the pace and like next episode they kiss and the episode after that like he gets to second base, then I could maybe see we're on track for it, but I mean, if it's like we take a while to get to a kiss, I would imagine they would break up before we got to them having sex.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I'm a yes. Nick's a maybe. More yes, maybe.
Yeah,
Uh, we'll find out in
yeah,
due
we'll
time.
see who's right. Um, I I guess it is sort of the show for it in terms of like tone of the show. It is sort of a more adult show, not adult in terms of like they would show it, but
Yeah,
adult in terms of like they would deal with it.
right.
So I can kind of believe that it would happen in context of the show.
Uh,
So it'll be interesting to see if our
yeah,
characters do get there.
yeah, but we'll find out in due time. Uh, so we can move on to our last show that we're watching this season, and that's Fruits Basket. And
Hmm.
Jesus Christ, what
The
a
show
fucking
where
episode!
you thought it was going to be light and fluffy. They gave you all of that first season where they were like, look how cute it is, look how adorable it is. And they give you this season and they were like, boom!
Boom,
I, I threw that shit on the ground!
abusive relationship, the slutty. I think this show, I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like this show does a fantastic job at showing an abusive relationship and why some people don't like. You can't just leave, or sometimes you just can't leave an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And this show does a great job at showing like the nuance as to why, and it's very interesting. Basically, this entire episode was Kyo talking to Akito,
Yeah.
and basically the consequence of that talk, and exploring what is going on with Kyo's mind and why, and the 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 basically the magnitude at which Akito hates Kyo and just despises him.
If anything, it was a fucking textbook example of gaslighting by Akito,
Yes.
as he very frequently rephrases Kyo's anger into like, but you're the villain, you're the bad one, you are the problem, I
Yeah,
am
I
not the
didn't do
bad
anything
person.
wrong. You brought Toru,
You brought
into
Toru
all
into this.
You killed
You're
your
the one
mom.
causing her to suffer. You killed your mom. Yeah. So Akito is a fucking textbook example of gaslighter,
Mm-hmm.
of a gaslighter here. As yeah, he
She.
or she. I'm sorry. They keep doing that because of the original show. Um, but she basically goes through breaking down Kyo, as she views him as her little monster, and we learn about a little bit more about the fact that everyone does truly believe that Kyo was responsible for his mom committing suicide. I don't remember how much about that we knew, but he was there. He saw her jump in front of the train.
Oh, I thought she just
Uh,
jumped off a building or something.
I think at the very end of that we see a train.
Okay.
Um, we get to see. I'm trying to remember like the order of things that we see about Kyo's life and history. Um,
So
because with Akito we learn some stuff, and then after Akito we learn a little bit more.
yeah, so Akito tries to break him down, and he starts to break down, and then finds a light with Toru, realizing that he finally actually like has feelings for Toru and wants to be with her. And as he's trying to build himself back up, trying to basically having Toru as his anchor, Akito then attacks that and tells him that basically Toru's just a monster like him. She doesn't deserve anything.
Yeah.
And that basically starts to kind of whittle down at Kyo, and he kind of breaks, finally breaks, and then just starts weeping, gets super angry because that's just the type of character he is, and kind of like finally gives in to basically all the bullshit that Akito is trying to feed him, and basically just kind of leaves afterwards.
Yeah.
Our words cannot describe how sad and painful like the actual scene was. It was very heartbreaking.
It was. Watching Kyo, it was basically probably like 15 minutes. It was like 2/3
It
of the
was
episode.
most of the episode.
Yeah.
Basically, Akito basically just abusing, physically
Yeah.
and verbally abusing Kyo.
Yes. 'Cause there was a scene in the very beginning where Kyo and Yuki have a short conversation about like Toru's alone again, and they talk about like the futility of trying to fight against Akito.
Which makes me
Um,
believe now that Yuki may have finally cracked, like is now broken and needs to be brought back. Because like, why would he say that if he like didn't care about Akito anymore? So maybe my original theory is kind of off about him, but we'll find out later.
I
Anyways,
mean, it
just
was certainly the reason why Akito originally showed up was to re-break the people who were built up by Toru.
yeah, specifically Yuki and Kyo.
Kyo. Yeah.
That's why she summons Kyo in this episode.
hmm and we do learn about a bet that Akito and Kyo have made, where Kyo has to defeat Yuki before the end of his high school, his time in high school before his high school graduation. And if he does manage to do it, he gets to live a normal life. And if he doesn't, he has to go inside of the cat jail.
Which makes me wonder, like, what does he mean by beat? Like, just in a fist fight? Is that what it is, or just in
It
what
is a
way?
solid question. Yeah,
I
there was no like context of defeat him how that was given. She just says defeat Yuki.
In this episode, I was hoping that Yuki, because Yuki had now, like, in my theory, now that Yuki didn't care about Akito that much and was like kind of free, that he was gonna start to like become more friendly with Kyo, but he was still very like aggressive and confrontational.
Yeah.
At the very least, he doesn't fight back. So there's a change there.
hmm
But anyways, Kyo talks with Akito. Akito breaks him down, and then basically lets him go. And this is when Kyo is basically at his lowest point, and see basically as he's walking towards the beach, he starts to have basically like his internal dialogue of himself, talking to himself, kind of trying to make himself work through this.
hmm
And in this particular case, he goes back to his real dad, not his fake biological dad, who's a piece of shit.
Yep.
Basically teaching him about a flower and hope and that entire metaphor. Basically, Toru is a flower, and he has to basically take care of the flower so it takes care of him.
And because he promised Toru's mom.
Oh shit! Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
He has had a run-in with Toru's mom before.
And she showed him a picture of young Toru and basically said, take care of her as you grow up together and all that. And he promised his mom, or her mom.
Yes.
So Yuki has a connection to young Toru, and now Kyo also has a connection to young Toru.
Yeah. He peeped at her through fucking fence.
He did, but he was also like a 5-year-old, so it was less
It wasn't
creepy
peeping, he
and
was
more
just
just
looking
like
over a window.
5-year-old adorableness. Yeah.
But anyways, what's important is that Toru's mom has like had an impact on Kyo already. Toru's mom, as well as his karate teacher.
Yeah.
And at the very end, he
His
finally,
master dad.
his master dad. Yep, his real dad. And at the end, he finally is resolved. This is like the moment that Yuki may or may not have had, where Kyo now just doesn't care. He's finally done with Akito, and is fully on. He's just going to be with Toru as long as he can, and just deal with whatever comes next.
Yeah.
It's a nice little like ending where he grabs her hand and they start walking upstairs.
It is sort of a sad ending too, because it's Kyo deciding that basically there's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
So there's like a sense of hopelessness of like, I will end up back in the cat jail forever, so I'm just going to try and appreciate what I have now for as long as I can.
This is also true.
But yeah, it was a very sad, heartbreaking episode of
Very emotional episode.
watching Kyo be broke down and then having Kyo sort of realize that he loves Toru and deciding at the end, like, there's nothing I can do to stay with you forever, so I'll stay with you as long as I can and appreciate you for what you are. So it was a very emotional episode, and yeah,
Kyo is. I keep mentioning this cult thing, but Akito is a cult leader.
he is, yes. But we have now had Akito interact with Yuki and break Yuki down, and interact with Kyo and break Kyo down.
Oh, something that I forgot. Something that I want to bring up. When Akito is washing his hands,
Uh-huh.
her hands, sorry, is washing her hands.
You do, yeah. Thanks to me, yeah.
She leaves the faucet on and then leaves, and then Yuki has to go turn it off.
Mhm.
Basically, I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but that's what I love to fucking do. Basically showing that she fucks things up, leaves things, basically just does things and leaves things as they are, and has to have other people fix it for themselves. In this case, Yuki has to turn off the faucet because she didn't want to do it.
I guess, I don't know. You're reading, like, maybe a little bit too far into it. I took it more as just, like, Akito is very unconcerned with, like, anything else. Like, the world as a whole, Akito just sort of sees, like, things that I need. I need to wash my hands. I turn the water on. I wash my hands. I'm done. I walk away. Like, turning the water off is too much of a detail for Akito to care at that moment.
Okay.
And so I took it.
another reason I take this is because I believe that Yuki is going to start helping Kyo at some point, or finally start helping others out, like Toru is. But we'll see if that happens. This is one of the reasons I like the show is because we're able to make these predictions and then look forward to being wrong or being right.
Yeah, we are only, I believe, 1 or 2 episodes away from meeting the episode that I last know about. So there's one more thing that will happen, and it will be the end of a volume, and that will be the last thing I read.
Awesome, and I believe that has something to do with Akito being a woman, as you mentioned before.
Possibly.
Okay.
It's either Akito being a woman or Akito being the god. I forget which of the two things it was.
Well, I believe it's going to be it could be both.
It could be both.
Because Toru does mention that she thinks Akito is the rooster, which we know is wrong. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't know it's wrong. I'm pretty sure it's wrong. Oh, actually, well, Nick has told us it's wrong, but in the context of the show, we don't know it's wrong. We're metagaming here, because in the ending, we do see Kureno as the rooster.
But yeah, so we are close to that, and I will be joining you on the I have no idea what's coming next, and we can predict together completely blindly. Except for a few things. I know some based on Fruit Basket and Other, but that's more to just do with how characters end up.
Oh, okay. Is that like a post whatever
it's
happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's their kids.
Oh, okay. So you
know
who ends up with who?
Yeah, I know who ends up with who. Which is how I know that the teacher is an important character.
So you know who ends up with someone. Well, the teacher ends up with Hattori.
So we will find out more about the relationships as time goes on. But as for plot stuff, there is one more major thing involving Akito. But we will find out more about Akito in the next episode or two. But yeah, so we really didn't ever touch on Toru's whole dad thing.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet, at least. But she had like a panic attack that first night, and then we just never really dealt with it. I was kind of hoping we would. I've forgotten if we dealt with it or not.
From the way I read it, is that she had a panic attack about her mother, not about her father. And basically how she was like missing her mom, because if I remember correctly, she was holding her mom's picture.
Yeah, well, she only has her mom's picture.
Right, but I think it was being just confronted about her mom was what sent her into the panic attack. I don't think it has to do with her dad, because like I said, she didn't really know her dad, so she can still be sad about it. But I don't see her dad as being important right now. At least
it's true, but Toru is also like all about family.
Yeah.
Plus, we have seen like they did keep the shrine memorial thing to her dad, her mom, and her in their apartment.
Right.
So like, she did know of her father and like see his picture, and like see how important he was to her mom.
That too. But in terms of the story, I don't know if he's important to the Fruits Basket story as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure. I still think it was about her mom, but that's just me.
That's fair.
We'll definitely, I think, find out later. Because they have been talking about her dad a bit more, so that could definitely come into play. Because at least I don't know when he died. I think it was before Kyo met the mom, but I don't know.
We've never seen the dad, I don't think.
I don't think we've ever seen the dad like animated. Like we've only ever seen a picture of the dad.
So I think it's safe to assume that she was very, very young.
Think if she was alive at all.
I do not remember anymore.
I think the mom dies in a car accident.
The mom gets hit by a car.
Okay.
I believe.
It's still a car accident.
It is still a car accident. She was the pedestrian, though. But yeah, there is still trauma to be dealt with. Ren is still out here in the mountains, I think.
Yeah, we still need to figure out what the fuck's going on with Ren.
Shigure is still hanging around, not doing anything, but definitely plotting something. So maybe he'll get up to some hijinks soon.
Oh, we know that Kyo knows that Akito is scheming something. And we also know as a viewer that Shigure is scheming. He's scheming hard. I like schemers, so we'll find out what's going on there. Ayame has not been seen yet, and I hope he comes back because he's fucking funny. He's fucking great.
I'm pretty sure they said that he was invited, so maybe he'll make an appearance.
He'll show up and then just leave. I'm here. I'm gone now.
He'll flirt with Shigure slightly and then leave.
I'm here. Akito's here. Fuck that. Peace out. gonna go back to my dress shop.
Just two birds, double birds.
Yep.
As he walks away. Yep.
Anything else you'd like to bring up?
I don't believe there is. It was a very like singularly focused episode of a large portion was devoted to basically one conversation in a room. So there wasn't a whole lot to unpack here, but it was a very intense episode. I did like it a lot. There was a lot of very sort of interesting depictions of Akito with like sort of the fisheye lens effect
Yeah, like
and the crazy eyes.
as it zooms in on her face as she envelops more of the frame.
Yeah. So I think in
Oh, the
like the
tentacles.
depiction of this whole thing, yeah, like the creepy tentacle things that were very reminiscent of the whatever the fuck it was, chain break or whatever it was from
The
Cautious Hero.
limit break, whatever.
Yeah.
Which, by the
But
way, okay, we can't say it was a depiction of it because there were 5 different depictions of what it fucking was.
you're not wrong. There was a lot of depictions of that thing. Yeah, it was I think it was a really well done scene of like showing the effect as like a mental toll and like showing I mean, it's sort of like a common way to do like PTSD flashbacks in anime with like the black, like the full black with the white scratch lines of
Yeah.
like something that's traumatic.
But I mean, it
But I
works.
do like it.
Yeah.
I do like those flash in moments of like something graphic or like not graphic, but like something traumatic in that style. I think it does well that image of like it's so affecting that like it's all scratchy and like messed up looking.
Right. It's a good shorthand.
Yeah.
And it's a trope for a reason because, it
Yeah.
works.
And was used effectively of being like it was just one static image that they were using. It wasn't like they were trying to do a scene in it or anything. I think some things like try and do like go too far with it of like show a whole like PTSD moment all in that style where like at some point like just flashing the image just sort of lets you as the viewer like you get the impression of it at the same time like you can fill in the details of like what you're seeing. You don't need to see the whole scene. Like seeing it for that half second lets you kind of fill in like
Yeah.
this is what it means. Like this is what I'm looking at. So it works as like a less detailed drawing. But yeah, I thought it was a really good depiction. But other than that, there isn't anything else that I really want to talk about with this episode.
I'll bring up one more thing, and it's once again playing the overanalysis game. And this time I'll be overanalyzing the ending.
Okay.
So in the ending, we see the characters and like a little card of them with their zodiac animal.
Yep.
And for the most part, all of them are depicted in white. So it's a white foreground, like and then the negative space is like kind of like the background. So they are in white as well as their animal.
Okay.
And sometimes if they kind of like, in order to show if one's in front of the other, they'll inverse it. But the one character who is not in white and is showed completely in negative space is Kyo, and he's completely enveloped by the cat spirit. And my overanalysis takes this as everyone doesn't see him as Kyo, everyone sees him as the cat. Unlike everyone else who is their person as well as their zodiac spirit, except for him, who is completely the cat, and just Kyo is just the vessel of the cat.
All right. That's a solid analysis, I think.
Yeah. I feel like it has enough evidence in the text of the show. I will not be citing it because I don't want to, and this isn't gonna get graded. But that is my take. I gave myself an A.
Solid.
I will be writing a 5-paragraph essay
I'll give
as
you a
to
B+.
why I'm right.
Your topic statement was lazy, and you could have tried harder. There were also several sentences that were awkward. I've marked them awk for awkward.
Oh. But yeah, that's Fruits Basket. It's fantastic. I can't keep saying that enough.
It is very good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the whole story being depicted or being shown. I'm really glad that they just came out and said straight from the jump, like, we're gonna do it all. It'll take a while, like we'll do long breaks in between, but we're doing the whole thing. I think that was better than just saying like we have got one season and then saying like season 2 is announced and then later on saying season 3 is announced. Like I really like the fact that they just came straight out and said we're doing it all. Breaks in between, but we're doing the whole thing.
This is very much like the Brotherhood treatment that Fullmetal Alchemist had. It was a good show to begin with, and now we're getting the actual story.
Yeah.
The whole story. Yeah, I'm loving it. Didn't watch the original one. I did. It was like one of the first anime on Hulu. And it kept getting recommended to me, but I never watched it when I was younger. At this point, I actually wish I had. I think I would have liked it.
I watched it a long time ago,
But
and then I read what I could read based on the limitations of my library and what they had. But yeah.
Nick, what would you like to sell out to today?
Um.
Well, we are going to sell out. Both of us are going to sell out to
Yeah.
one thing in particular, and that's Black Lives Matter because we're not giant pieces of shit,
Mhm.
and we do believe that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Um,
Um. Even though we have no
yeah, we
platform
have
and
no
nobody
platform and
listens
no
to
one
us,
listens to us.
um,
I think it's
it's
important that we
still
say it.
just it's important to say. Yeah, I agree, and
Also, so we don't get a bunch of chuds being our fans if this ever gets picked up.
exactly. If there ever comes a time where people actually do listen to us, we have this as a statement of this is the type of people we are. So we at ABC wholeheartedly support the Black Lives Matter movement, and if you want to donate to charity to support it,
Yeah,
the American Civil Liberties Union, the Justice Defense League or Justice Defense Fund,
ACLU. Do you say ACLU?
uh, yeah, the American
No.
Civil Liberties Union,
Yeah.
American Civil
Just
Liberties
use the
Union.
letters, Nick. I know the letters. I know those. I don't know the big words.
That's fair.
But yeah,
The
ACLU.
NAACP then.
Yeah, the NAACP's LDF funds. There's a bunch of bail funds as well,
Mhm.
which are very important in order to get the protesters who were protesting peacefully out of jail.
Yeah, I
Because
believe there are bail funds set up for a lot of the major cities,
Yep.
so you can donate to your city's bail fund and help out the protesters in your city if you can't go. Yeah, so we here at ABC wholeheartedly support them. We both contributed some of our own money to charities that we care about that we've just listed, and we advise, or we suggest that,
I'll just do the same.
yeah, others do the same. And if you can, go out and protest and support the people who are making an important change in society.
Yeah, be careful though. Wear a mask.
Yeah,
I may or not.
don't. Yeah.
I may or not. I may or may not now have COVID for the second time. Anyways,
Yeah,
also
don't become a statistic 2 weeks from now when there is a huge uptick. Don't want to be that
yeah.
statistic.
Anyways, as well, also Happy Pride Month
Yeah,
because that
I've read
started about a week ago.
That's also another thing. Change has come to that community, but hopefully will not regress soon. We always want to see, equal treatment to everybody is sort of the thing that we're selling out to holistically here on ABC, and that applies to Black Lives Matter and the Pride Month. So,
Yes, sirree.
but my personal shout out. Fuck, I thought of something earlier today too, which is now upsetting me.
So, I guess we'll wait on yours while you keep thinking about it. I will say out to the song because I've been selling out songs all the time. The song "Redbone" by Childish Gambino. As if it's the theme of the other songs I've been selling out to, "Redbone" is a somewhat sad song. It basically it does still detail the kind of the ending of a relationship, much like the rest of the songs. I'm finding troubles remembering the lyrics, but I remember chocolate peanut butter cake with Kool-Aid. That's one song. That's one lyric I remember. Mostly because I like the way he just says it. It's something kind of about his inflection in that line. Just kind of it always stood out to me. But yeah, I really like the song. I fucking love the beginning. I believe the beginning was sampled from a Funkadelic song. Maybe at some point I knew what it had sampled, but anyways, fantastic song, fantastic artist. Go listen to them. Redbone's super popular, so I'm not sure what I'm selling out to, but whatever. Most people will probably already know the song.
I don't know if it's actually on an album, but one of my favorite Childish Gambino songs is "Freaks and Geeks."
I
I don't know
think
if it's
that
actually
was
on an album.
his second one.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, whichever one has like the kind of forest, the forest artwork.
Okay.
Maybe it was an LP. What's the difference between an LP and an album?
I'm assuming the number. I've always assumed the number of tracks.
Okay, well, either it was an LP or an album that had a kind of like a forest kind of depiction on it.
Okay. But yes, my sellout for the week. Um, I really do wish I could recall what it was. It was probably more than likely something to do with racing, as that's really what I've been doing a lot of this week, in my spare time. Not actually
Playing
racing,
the
but
motor game.
yeah. But um, hmm. instead, since I can't recall what my actual sellout was going to be, I am going to sell out to. All right. So I cannot recall what my original sellout was going to be that I had thought of earlier. I have to start writing these down because it's not the first time this has happened. But I will sell out to all of the scientists that are contributing to the
Coronavirus research.
yeah, the coronavirus vaccine research.
They're working overtime.
There is a lot of stuff, going into it, and I know that with the anti-vaccine crowd that exists in America, as well as some people may
Abroad.
be somewhat afraid of a vaccine that is produced under Operation Warp Speed or whatever it was that Trump branded the vaccine production.
Oh my god, he made that statement?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
idiot.
may be somewhat afraid of a vaccine that's produced in this way may not be proper or like healthy for human use, but I have 100% faith that all protocols are being followed, that whatever vaccine comes out of this will be safe for human use, will not have any significant side effects. So I want to give my sell it to all of them. They're doing a lot of hard work. They're doing very rigorous work that's being very, rigorously peer reviewed to make sure that it will be safe. So when a vaccine does come out at the end of this, I'm sure that other people will come out and say this, more important people than us, but I also want to say that hard work goes into it, and go get a vaccine, because you're going to do a world of good just going to get that vaccine.
Yes,
so
sir.
Thank you for all of the work that they've done, and get a vaccine. Believe in vaccines, because not even believe in vaccines. It's like saying believe in facts.
Yeah, one pet peeve I have is the phrase "believing in science," but you don't really believe in science. It's just kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess I don't know. It's hard to add logic to that one.
Anyways, yeah, go get vaccines. They're real. Just take them.
So thank you for joining us on this episode 101 or episode 5, depending on how Brandon lists this.
This could be episode 101.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be too lazy to remember the 5 joke.
And it will not be that good of a joke.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening. Have a great night, day, week.
Whatever time you watch this.
Yeah.
Depending on which month Brandon uploads this, all the stuff we talked about may be no longer relevant.
Years late.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
The year is 20.